thanks for inviting me, and many thanks for giving me opportunity to present on this conference. My presentation will be about main challenges that the banking sector is facing today and main opportunities. Obviously, I will add certain thoughts that we are sharing with my team here regarding MAIB and its future, but I have only a few slides, and hopefully that will be good start of the day. So thank you again, and good morning. Let me share my presentation, which is here. There we go. Yeah, to start with, I just wanted to highlight some main achievements of MAIB, and especially in the context of MAIB MAIB having the 30th birthday literally today, and you can see the background basically highlighting this. So this is the 30th birthday. Obviously, this is the largest bank in Moldova with around 30% of market share across assets and 30+ across the main segments and products. Well-known brand both here and in the regional context. Universal bank providing full range of the financial products. Good distribution channels, the largest number of branches, employees, customers, and so on. We have some financial data here, but I understand this is not the focus for today's conference. This is to start with. Now, I'll move on to the next page. And what this page summarizes here is the McKinsey's view, and McKinsey is the, I would say, the top consultant for banking in the world, related to COVID impact on the economy and on the bank. And clearly, this is something that is very relevant or is essential for any bank in the world, including banks in Moldova, to consider as #1 challenge and #1 opportunity as well. So what we can see on this slide is that firstly, there will be so-called muted recovery of economy, which means that there will not be very fast recovery, but there will be recovery starting from the second half of this year. For the small countries, or not big countries like Moldova or Georgia, where I come from, this recovery could be further accelerated by the fact that it is easier in such countries to implement reforms, initiatives, changes. So we should see, based on their views, some recovery second half of this year. What this means for the banks is that during the next few years, there might still be some problems related to certain provisions or credit losses, or there might be some problems related to traditional banking products and services. However, what this means for banks is that non-traditional digital banking product and services become even more important to quickly implement and deploy to withstand the competition. So this slide basically firstly summarizes the 4 most important changes that we should expect in the banking. And I'm sure most of those changes are pretty much applied to most of the industries at the world or local scale. The very first one is the fact that basically we will be changing how we work and how we do every day. I mean, the fact that I'm here in Chișinău, but I'm presenting through Zoom. Most of our meetings in the bank now are via digital technology, mostly in Zoom. We in the new office, we are trying to implement mostly agile, mostly flexible culture, which then will be deployed across the other offices. So basically, we will work digitally much more. We will have certain hybrid workspaces than it was the case before the COVID. And this COVID actually showed that this is possible. The banks very quickly adjusted their back offices from physical to digital environment. So this is very important to highlight. This is the very first one. The second one is the tech players and finance or fintechs. And if you take other industries, they have their challenges as well. Obviously, most of the old industries do get some challenge from some kind of tech players, and now it's kind of the turn is for banks. We are seeing that any big player, such as, I don't know, Facebook, Amazon, Google, or you name it, want to launch certain banking product. They start with payments, they then add certain type of cards, and you may have all seen cards issued by Apple in cooperation with Goldman Sachs and so on. Or small players, many startups, and I think I was reading the other day, there are apparently 25,000 startups in finance, so in fintechs in the world. So most of those, well, all these 25,000 startups obviously are trying to steal certain shares from the banks or provide some better, more flexible products and services to bank customers. So we listed here a few of them, and again, they are 25,000. Next one, and next, which will be a very important change, is transformation in customer experience and what customers expect from us. This is very important to highlight, because customers now, they use obviously mobile, they go abroad, not every time, and they have exposure to best in class mobile apps. And when they use a bank's app, obviously they have different expectations. And they are much different than otherwise they would have had, say, like, I don't know, 10 or 20 years ago, where you were competing only with local banks. And finally, what we have here is increasing urgency of social and environmental sustainability. And I think as every citizen or corporate citizen in the world, the banks should pay more attention to those too. So obviously this means increasing local competition. This is further intensified with the increasing local competition. But for the future, what we need to do is to continuous customer insight, to be very close with the customer. And I'll say in 2 words what we as MAIB are going to do to deal with those challenges. To support our customers, launch value-add services, not necessarily only traditional banking products, but also products and services that make customers' life easier. And finally, which is very important, is to partner, create, work with fintechs, high-techs, ecosystems, so that we become part of the digital, modern digital world. This is basically some initiatives that the banks all over the world are doing. This became already a buzzword. Everybody says ecosystem in banking. However, it's already shaped that the banks are using 12 to 14 ecosystems, or are developing 12 to 14 ecosystems. The banks like ING are quite advanced. Banks and these type of ecosystems are quite advanced in Asia as well, and you may have seen Alibaba and Alipay's cooperation in China, how successful they are. However, this is just beginning, so this is not already done deal. This is just beginning, and the banks are all over the world are trying to launch, offer, orchestrate, manage digital ecosystems for the customers. And by the way, this is something that we will be doing. Here. This is our vision. I cannot finish presentation without saying it, obviously. This is our vision, and I just wanted to highlight the 4 areas which I, with my team, are developing and are trying to implement. The very first one is to build the new level of customer experience. So this is the very first one, and this is given here. And what I mean here is that to make everything customer-centric. Make everything customer-centric. Put the customer first. And whatever we do, we need to ensure that this is targeted to our customers. Basically, we are simplifying the processes. We just created the customer experience management department. My deputy is overlooking the retail, and she will be managing this. So again, we want to take the customer level to the next level. So build a new level of customer experience. The second one is in digital. And this is also very important. I think in the context of what I said during like 5 seconds ago, the digital presence, embedding our services in various digital ecosystems is important. In addition, we have an ambition to become an orchestrator of digital ecosystems in the country, and this is the second area that we will be focusing. Third one is subject to our shareholder approval, clearly. But if we get this approval, and I don't see the reason why we should not get, if we get this approval, we have an ambition to list our shares on an international stock exchange. And I'll say a few words about stock exchange and its impact to country, banking sector, and economy. But for now, let's just say that our ambition is to list shares on an international stock exchange. And number 4, this is more long-term vision, but still there, is to go to the region with digital products. So expanding the region in digital products. Let me highlight here, we are not going to go and buy large bank in Romania. This is not our strategy. This is old days. Our strategy is to go digital, very proved products, profitable products in regional countries, digital step by step, offering the best that we develop in this country. And digital does not really have borders, right? If you succeed in one country in digital, then you have very good chances to succeed in the neighboring country afterwards. 2 words about IPO, and I used my old pictures from TBC IPO, which I managed, and I'm proud to say this. So IPO for MAIB is a big, and it's bigger than the benefit that MAIB will get directly from IPO. And when the largest bank lists its shares on a recognized large international stock exchange, this bank acts as the gateway to present the country to the international investors and to bring those investors to the country as well. Now, this is very important because any investor, before deciding to buy a share of a largest bank in the country, they need to decide firstly that they are comfortable with the country risk. But as long as they are comfortable with the country risk, that means that the next company can approach them and ask for the investment. From our experience, investors who we attracted as the bank, then they have been looking and they continue looking for other opportunities, investing in other companies in the country. On the other hand, we as the bank have been cooperating with the government to present the best of the country to the international financial community. So this is very big. This is very big. Here we can act as the flagship of integration of Moldovan businesses into international financial markets, and that's why I just wanted to highlight this. Obviously, some additional benefits of IPO is related to our customers, employees, and shareholders, which we have about 3,500 shareholders, so important to highlight, but I'll go very quickly. Most importantly, this is transparency and communication, clear and transparent communications with the shareholders. Obviously, this means higher price, higher liquidity, and so on, but this is something that we will be discussing on more shareholder meeting. So these are my presentations. I don't know what is the format, if this allows any questions. If not, I'm based here, and I think we are always trying to answer any questions from various groups of Moldovan businesses, society. So I'll be happy to follow up. Many thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your opening words. Thank you for the support of Moldova Agro-Bank. And of course, congratulations on the 30th anniversary of Moldova Agro-Bank. It is a pleasure for us to know that you're celebrating this important date together with us in the spirit of innovation. And yes, we do have a question, in case you're still online with us. O să rog echipa să deschidă slide-ul, să vedem ce întrebare avem pentru domnul Shagidze. So the question is, in order to go to IPO, which is the MAIB policy regarding CSR and climate change? Are your strategy the vision to go green and become climate neutral?
Yeah, many thanks. This is very good question. I must say, though, that this is not very linked to IPO. With or without IPO, we do have an ambition to become more green, but I think we need to be realistic what we can achieve in the short term. We have now special focus on the initiative, and over time we'll try to become more green. So the short answer is that yes, but in more feasible time frame.
Thank you very much. That is a great answer, and I think we have one more question for you. And the question goes like this: please detail the expand plan in the region with digital business model.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking how much detail I can share, but I guess the very first step, there are many Moldovans living outside Moldova as expats, and many of them live in Europe. And clearly, when we are ready, we want to offer digital platforms for them to bank with us. So that will be the very first step, and then the next step will be to roll out it to other people as well. Now, obviously, we need to note, though, that this is a long-term plan, and before reaching it, we need to do the other three, which I mentioned. But this is our long-term plan and has our full commitment.
Thank you very much for your answer, for your insights from your presentation, and also for the support that Moldova Agro-Bank is offering Rockit Conference.